All right. Boom. And we are live. What's up, everybody? It's GMrDrew here to welcome you to another episode of the Andrew Wojcicki Experience. This is going to be episode 451. And, yeah, man, calling this one BTS, a little behind the scenes. Wasn't sure if I should have called this, like, just chatting or an art stream, because I'm going to chat about art, but it's really going to be a little more presentational, a little less professional presentational, a little more just me riffing, because it's 5 a.m. over here, and I only have like an hour left in my day, and I've had a hell of a day. So yeah, it's I wanted to get this streaming because I know it's been a minute since I've been here, so definitely wanted to do that. Definitely still been working behind the scenes. But either way, all of this was, since the beginning, and I've been saying this since forever, was that all of this was supposed to be me presenting the convention experience, the Artist Alley convention experience to y'all. You know, lately, a lot of what I've been working on has begun to come full circle. Yeah, so I picked up a lot of skills, a lot of tools, and a lot of everything over time. And as you pick up all these things and you don't let the old things go, it's been a while since I used colored pencils or even pencils. You know what I mean? I've gotten so comfortable with the inks. Yeah, after picking up so many skills in the trade and whatever, it slowly, very, very, very slowly began to meld together, mixed media, you know what I mean? Kind of experimenting and cooking. And yeah, man. You try to think about, like, how am I going to utilize all these things? How am I going to do all this? And then, you know, I went through my 20s learning graphic design. So I got a job in graphic design, and then I taught myself that, you know, on the job. Add skills to the table. It's a lot. It's too much, right? But that's how life goes. That's just how it goes. I picked up all these skills. I learned them all. I did them all. I do them all. And I got the portfolios to show them. I got the website to show most of it. So I guess what I'm coming to is, like, the whole reasoning why I started my company. I always talk about the whole, like, oh, I work for people, and I didn't want to work for people. I wanted to work for myself, and all of that is true. But something that I never really talked about was there was never an opportunity for me to apply everything that I could do. So I would spend my days not applying myself in all of the faculties, facilities. Never, whatever. I wasn't applying myself in the direction that I wanted to go, artistically, professionally. I wanted to be a professional artist. You know, if I had to boil it down to a single sentence, I want to draw pictures for a living. So yeah, man. I took the 5 years off to write the story because that was me taking myself to school to learn something I should have been learned. But really, it's just showing rough sketches, which is leads me the next step closer to what it is that I wanted to show you guys, as far as, like, old sketchbooks that I worked on in those 5 years that I was writing the story. My Patreon sketchbook, or no, this one isn't my Patreon sketchbook. This is my side gig. This is my side sketchbook. I got, like, this is my sketchbook right here. This one that's always on display for the most part. That I've done most of my streams on. This sketchbook right here. This is my sketchbook. This is my side sketchbook. This is, like, I do the same shit in this book that I do in this book. I just do it on the side. My last sketchbook, this one right here, is the Patreon sketchbook. I wanted to talk about it a little bit. It's the one that I spend a little, I try to give a little bit of my time every single day to, and then every few days I'll post some of the pages because a lot of it is writing and some of it is pictures. So I share the pictures, I don't share the writing part. Of course, the writing has all the details. So kind of don't want to share too much of all that, you know what I mean? But I have been thinking about, since I've started video editing, I'm saying that term very loosely, I started thinking about making videos. And, now all of a sudden the videos that I've been thinking about since 2013, what is that, 10 years? So all the videos that I've been thinking about for a decade are now a reality. And it's been about maybe a decade since I've had thoughts of, like, the beginnings of combining the arts and the mixed media. It was very easy going from pencil to ink because the ink lent itself directly into the same motions as pencils. So that melded easily. Markers and ink, like ink pens, they were easy, they were just fatter markers. So it was like, okay, I'll just draw looser with those. Brush tips, I call them fancy markers when I started using them. Brush tips, micro pens. That was the first time I started actually making, like, monetary investments into my art. Just because I couldn't afford them, technically, but I could. So yeah, it became very easy to melt all these things together over a decade. And yeah, man, this is I just wanted to share some of the visuals. Most of it's just going to be pencils because it's sketchbooks and the scribblings of a madman while he's doing his thing. I have other sketchbooks. I have like way too many of them. But I think most of them are on my website. Like these that I'm going to be sharing, like they're not on my website just because they're not finished yet. Once I finish these and I hit the last page and I'm done, that's when I'll and put them up. But yeah, man, I got other ones. They're somewhere. Maybe I'll show them some other time. But let's go back to the past, man. Let's go even before this sketchbook that I've been working on since I started streaming a couple of years ago. Even some of the first pages here. Well, yeah. Let's just talk about it. Let me get the light. There we go. Boom. So yeah, man. That's how far back this sketchbook goes. You'll get a sketchbook and then you'll start it and then you'll set it down. I mean, I do it, but I pick them back up. But that's how it goes. Is something bent in here? Why does the page feel like it's bent or warped? Anyways, here, let me aim this upwards so we could at least get most of the page in there. But yeah, you can see it's even in pencil. And I used to watch these yoga videos, and then I started writing them down, and just, you can see these are like my stick figures and all that other stuff. So these things aren't even dated. And you see I started even getting sexy with it by doing like over the top shots, just so I can get like an understanding of the positioning of the anatomy. So I got a little bit more detailed than stick figures for those. But yeah, you can see stick figure, and then boom, like a different shot, and then stick figure. And it's all just to help. But I was just studying the videos that I was watching, you know what I mean? So that way I didn't have to watch the videos in order to do the yoga. I could just practice, practice, practice. I think I used to practice those for either a week or a month, and I would just do it over and over and over. And then I started writing them down, and I, wrote down, I think that's 7 of them. So that way I had one for every day of the week. So that way I would play with them like that. See, I make my workout videos on Instagram. I made, I drew diagrams of the yoga sessions that I studied. But yeah, you see, even in the beginning of this sketchbook that I've been working on since I started streaming, I think I even streamed all this stuff, you know what I mean? Going over the Andrew Loomis stuff, because I had been writing for 5 years. I had to like re-teach myself stuff and just look at things and start drawing them again, try to familiarize myself with them again. Try to aim for realism, try to aim for style. You know what I mean? Like, see, I started jumping in and started using the inks to start bringing out the values and stuff like this. And then yeah, I got the crazy chick, the crazy vampire girl. But yeah, just stylizing everything. But you see, it's all still in pencil, still playing around, and just throwing in ink in little spots. I think I was timing myself. Yeah, see, 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. These are all like 30-minute sketches. You know what I mean? Like, one of the biggest shames was never finishing this picture, because it was a 4-hour drawing, and I was like, I don't want to spend more time on it. And now looking back, it's like, why not? Like, I put this one up on my Nakama store, and it's still badass, and I still love it. Like, this still works. Like, this is tight. But the blue gets lost. Like, a lot of the pencil gets lost in the scan and everything like that. Like, it looks good in like real life, but I don't know. Still makes for a good shirt though, man. Go pick that up on the Nakama store. And then but yeah, so who knows, maybe one day I go back and work on these things. And then boom, man, I started jumping into my my concepts, and I started with the map. You know what I mean? I started with the world, started with looking down on it, and then boom, started isolating locations and then zooming in on those locations, and maybe the characters, maybe the props, maybe the location itself. Started getting into his 90-minute challenges, and I think I was really challenging myself to the 90 minutes, I believe, and started using the tools like a job. You got a task, and you have a time limit to do it in. You apply those concepts to the art. People say it's dangerous to turn your passions into a job, or to turn it into a source of income. Alright. That's what's up. If that's how you really feel. If that's how you really feel, Boromir. It's good to do that, because it's a good way of testing yourself, to see how happy you'd be with a result. Because if you're happy with it, then you can probably make somebody else happy with it. If you're not happy with it, probably not going to make people happy with it. But yeah, man, this was all just me getting back into it. And I was even realizing it at the time when I was working on it. I was just like, God damn, I'm not getting what I want, but I'm almost getting it. You know what I mean? And it was really difficult just jumping back in. This is February 2021. Oh wow, so this is like 2 years ago? Yeah. So this page is about 2 years old then. Scarlet Witch and all that. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, when Scarlet Witch was coming out, I was doing all this stuff, man. That's what's up. And then starting to work on concept art, and then you can see I was like, okay, I was frustrated with the style. With the realism that I was trying to shoot for, like a comic book realism. Like the type of dedication that comic book artists would put into the comic book cover art, as opposed to just like one of the middle panels that has like 9 frames in it. You know what I mean? You might notice the background's not in a panel or something like that, it's because they just the face in there really quick through the word bubble, and then you don't really need to see the background, you know. Stuff like that. That frustration and that quickness is what I'm talking about. So it was like, man, I wanted to apply this cover book cover quality, and but I gotta shoot for that for that bomb timing, you know what I'm saying? And then you see, I start freaking it a little bit, you know what I mean? I start throwing in the inks a whole lot more to tragic results, you know? Like, some things are good and some things just aren't.